Hey weirdos, I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
Morbid in your face. Morbid in your face.
All up in your face.
Boom.
This is an Ash-centric Morbid.
Ooh, honey, this week is an Ash-centric week. It's a two-pata Ash style.
Ash is doing a two-pata.
I think I've only ever done... I think I've only ever done one two-parter, but I actually just did one.
You did.
I did.
Lori Vallow.
And I've done, I think Charlie Manson was a two-parter.
Yeah. So you're a seasoned veteran.
It doesn't feel like it. I think Lori Vallow was my first deep dive into a two-parter, and then this was like, I was on the ocean floor.
You were. You're digging through into, like, the magma.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for
I'm
this
at the
one.
Earth's,
core.
what's the other one?
Not real sure.
Mantle.
Sure.
Is there a mantle in the
There
Earth?
is. There's a mantle.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, you're there. All right. I think
anyways.
the core is further, so I was saying core.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm at the mantle.
All right, cool. You know, don't overshoot, I guess. So, hey guys, welcome to our show.
Hi.
Hello. So I think we have just a couple of things we wanted to mention. We just wanted to say that, again, all our live shows that were scheduled in 2020 are in 2021 now.
Womp, womp, womp.
We don't have dates for everything, but we will certainly let you know. I've removed all the old dates from our website. I will
Yes.
update that as soon as I have the new ones.
And you should get emails, too, from whoever you purchase tickets
Oh,
from
yeah.
with new dates, but we'll remind you.
Like, the venues are going to end up telling you, you know, this has been rescheduled. But you know what?
Same here. We're
Why
gonna tell
should you have to do work? We're going to let you know as soon as we know. And if you can hold on to your tickets, that's gnarly, because
Gnarly as fuck.
you will be able to take those tickets and use them for the new date, and we can hang finally to the extreme. If you can't, though, because shit happens, 2021, who knows?
I hope it's a better year.
COVID's been a tough one for people. It's been tough financially, emotionally, physically, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
So if you, for some reason, need to get rid of that ticket, you can't hang on to it for then, we understand. We hope you can all hang on to your tickets, but obviously we understand. And if you have to do a refund or whatever you need to do, just contact your venue or the people you bought the ticket from, and they can
Yes.
help you. But again, we hope we get to see you all in
I want to
2021.
see all those faces.
Yeah, we really do. And we're sorry that, you know, it keeps getting bumped and, you know, dates are going everywhere. Obviously,
It's very much beyond our control.
It's very beyond anybody's control at this point. Pandemics are crazy, and we have not all really lived through one like this. So, you know, we're all just working with what we can. But yeah, we know it's frustrating. We're frustrated, trust me, because we're so ready for a full year of just, like, seeing your faces.
Because we got to do, like, 2 mini live shows, which were just
Yeah.
warm-ups. And then we went to the fucking Gramercy, and I was like, oh, bitch.
This is it.
Okay. I got to yell, thank you, New York. I felt like,
Yeah, and that
cool.
show, it was so fun, and it made me be like, all right, let's do this. And I was ready.
Yeah.
We had our, like, stage ready to go.
my
We were
God.
so excited about it.
I have, like, 4 fucking pairs of pants in my closet right now that I've just been waiting to wear.
That's not an exaggeration. That's real. I've seen them.
Yeah.
And they are real. But you know what? All of this excitement and all this prep that we're telling you about right now, it's going to get even better in 2021. So everything that we thought was going to be rad in 2020, we're just going to bump it up.
Right now, we're
exponentially.
actually trying to figure out how to do fireworks on stage.
Just pyrotechnics. No, we're not going to do
No,
that.
I'm totally kidding.
But we're still
That's
going to
illegal.
make it. We're going to make it awesome. So if you have tickets and you're like, oh, I don't know, trust me.
It's going to be worth it.
It's going to be
We're going to
worth
put
it.
your thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
We truly are. So, yeah. So that's just the business about the tickets. Again, we'll let you know as soon as we know. There's some real bummer news that happened, like, late last night.
Yeah, Annie was telling me about it today, and I was like, what?
Yeah, so I went to bed last night, and John was up late working, because he's been working from home, and it's, like, just craziness with kids. So
Right.
he ends up having to work, like, late into the night. And he came in, and I think I just woke up when he walked in the bedroom, and he was like, do you watch Glee? And I was like,
No.
no. And I was like, no, but I know Glee. Like,
That's
I know
funny.
what Glee is.
That's exactly the exchange that Annie
Yeah,
and I
I
had.
was
She
like-
was like, did you ever watch Glee? And I was like,
no. Like, I
Not a
literally,
musical kind of gal.
I've never watched even a second of it. I don't mind musicals. I just never got into that show.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was awesome, but I just never watched it.
People love that show.
But I know like the actors who are on it. I know the whole
When
premise.
people say that there's like a Glee curse.
Well, this is very scary. So he told me about Naya Rivera, who's like 33 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's young.
Real young.
That's a year younger than me.
Who?
And she's a Glee actress, and last night apparently it was announced that she had gone out on a lake on a little pontoon boat with her 4-year-old son, who's adorable.
Oh my god. Little
And
muffin.
They don't know where she is. The 4-year-old said that somebody had reported that the 4-year-old had told authorities or whoever found them that, you know, she went in the water and she didn't come back.
Huh.
And to me, that's the most heart-wrenching, horrific thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's just so strange because it's
and-
like, what?
And he was wearing a life jacket, but her life jacket, I think, was on the boat.
Yeah.
And at first, it was like a search and rescue mission, and they changed it to a recovery mission. And
Yeah, like in the middle of
she's
it.
presumed dead now, which is horrific and so sad and so like, oh, it's just such a freak, weird accident. And now it's like, what happened?
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out a lot in the coming weeks.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't look good, but I'm holding out hope. Maybe something happened and she'll be found okay. But like, it doesn't look good. But you know, everyone can hold out hope. I mean,
Right.
you have to.
right.
But yeah, they haven't found her yet. I just looked it up to see if anything has been announced. But nope, they have not found Naya yet. But so sad.
I know.
Such like and I mean, by all accounts, she was like an amazing person, amazing mom, amazing talent.
That's like, what happened?
What happened? And now that poor 4-year-old, and it's
Well,
what a traumatizing situation all around.
And I hope he has like family that he can go be with right now.
It seems like he does. It
Yeah.
seems like, you know, and they said he's healthy, he's okay.
That's good.
So that's good, but man, what a story.
I
Like
know.
what a weird
It's just
thing
bizarre.
to happen. It is. And you know, we'll update when we find out what's going on, but you know, once everybody cross your fingers that it's something weird is going on and that she just shows up.
Right.
And that something happens.
Weirder things have happened.
You
Let's
never
be real.
know. I mean, they found Elizabeth Smart alive, so that was the
Yeah,
was the shocker of the century. So we all thought she was gone. So
Exactly. You just never know.
You gotta hold out hope. That's all we got. That's all we got.
That's all we have.
It really is. So that's a bummer, but I wanted to mention it because I thought it was important. This coming week, we are going to be covering the Vanessa Guillen case. So get ready for that, guys, because I think we have as much information as we're going to get right now. So
I think we have a good amount for a full episode.
yeah, we
at
definitely
this point.
want to cover it now. So we'll be covering that. But today, what are we going to be covering?
We are covering, and this is like a highly requested case.
Sure is.
The Galveston 11.
Isn't that like the Texas killing fields?
It's part of the Texas killing
Yeah,
fields.
well, the Texas killing fields is
massive.
we'll be covering more things
Yes.
with that, but yeah, this is part of it.
But this case has the first body that was ever discovered in the Texas killing fields.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Actually, we're not going to get into that in part 1. It's going to be in part 2.
But don't worry.
But it's okay. So, in 1998, this guy, Edward Harold Bell, he sucks. He wrote...
sounds like he sucks.
Right? It's
Yeah.
a shitty name. He wrote multiple confession letters to prosecutors in not only Galveston, but Harris, which is also like a community, about 11 unsolved murders in Galveston, Texas.
Ooh.
And he completely admitted. He went into detail about many of the victims, went as far as to say what they were wearing, what he used to shoot them, like what kind of gun, where
So,
it
like,
was.
Things that only he would know.
It seemed that way, yes.
Okay,
But
yeah.
there's also like maybe he read like a lot of newspapers.
Absolutely. Because when it comes to like clothing and stuff, you could have heard it.
Right. He didn't necessarily say anything that wasn't mentioned at one point,
Oh, okay.
but all of the things that he mentioned in his letter were never laid out in one place.
So he would have had to gather it from
Right.
many different places.
And like he would have had like many newspapers in his jail cell, so
So
I
there's
feel
that.
like that would have been like a little bit much. So then he went back and retracted everything that he had said. and he claimed that he was suicidal, and he thought by confessing to all this, he would be killed by the state.
No.
It's like, it doesn't necessarily
No, bro.
work that way, and I feel like you probably knew that, and I
Yeah.
feel like this is just like a convenient excuse.
Well, it sounds like a game of some sort.
Sounds like a game.
Sounds like he's Ottis Tooling it and Henry Lee Lucasing it, and that's
It
not
sounds
cool.
like he's out here wilding,
Yeah.
because he also said he'd actually never killed anyone,
Oh,
which is weird because he was in prison for murder.
I was gonna say, he's like, you know what? It's crazy.
I actually never killed a single person.
I actually shouldn't be in here at all.
And everybody's like, yeah, but you should, though, because, like, there were multiple witnesses to you killing somebody.
Like, bro, come on.
But we're going to get into all that.
I'm excited.
But we got to start at the beginning.
Start at the beginning. That's a great place to start.
You know, it always is. So, Edward Bell, he was born in 1939, long time ago. Apparently, he was in the Boy Scouts, and I read a few articles that said he had a pretty typical childhood.
All right.
It doesn't really seem like that if you're going based off of what he says about his childhood, because whatever he has to say was not at all normal.
Oh, I mean, which could be the truth. And
But it
people
could
don't- it could also
be-
be him saying, see, this is why I do this.
This exactly.
Yeah.
It could be like an excuse kind
Here's
of
the
thing.
validation.
It's really hard to take him for what he's worth. Like, it's very difficult.
It sounds, he's very much an Ottis Toole.
Yes.
/ Henry Lee Lucas.
Yes, exactly. So he says that he became a sex criminal at the age of 3.
All right. Already I'm starting to think that maybe he's a bullshitter.
Like, probably. So there's this woman named, I think her name is Lise. It's Lise, Lise. But in the documentary, they call her Lisa, like the narrator does. But then also other people in the documentary call her Lise. So I'm like, which is it? So I'm going to
All
call
right.
her Lise.
Let's just call her Lise.
Cool. So,
If anybody knows for sure, let us know for
yeah,
sure.
let me know.
Nicely.
She she was like a journalist, an investigative journalist, and she has all these honors. Like, she has gone to fucking town in her investigative journalism.
Good for her.
She's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
So she basically went out to see him in prison because after she got her hands on these confession letters and was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you about?
What now?
So he agreed to, like, do an interview with her in prison. And he told her while she was visiting that when he was 3 years old, he was outside playing in the backyard, and, like, his older brother, who was like 5 at the time, came out and was like, let's go see your girlfriend down the street. Now already I'm like, what? So
Yeah.
they go to see this neighbor girl, and Ed says he remembers wanting to take off this girl's clothes.
No.
He's 3. I'm like, you don't remember
No.
that? That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
So he did, and his brother left, I
A
guess.
3-year-old took off the... Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah, so far this checks out.
Checks out. He did, and the girl's mom came out and, like, flipped out. And then he said when his parents found out, he got home, and basically his mom just, like, beat the shit out of him with a stick. And that's when he became a sex criminal.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that because of many things. 1, 3?
How do you remember that?
3?
Right.
Like 3. Because my girls are 4.
Right.
They don't remember anything from when they were 3, and
No.
that was like 6 months ago.
I mean,
So
I guess this would be, like, a memorable experience in your life because it's so traumatic, I guess.
you wouldn't
but-
remember, like, there's certain things, because people will say, and I'm sure people will say that they remember certain things from when they were like 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, like, little things.
But you wouldn't remember something like, I wanted to take her clothes off.
Right, you
don't.
wouldn't
You're
remember,
not
like,
going to
a
remember
feeling.
your motivations or your
Right.
You're just going to remember things that happened.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, 3 is not when you're not making a lot of memories at 3.
No,
it's
I didn't
just
think
not
so.
happening. And you're certainly not becoming a sex criminal at 3.
No.
It's not happening. You just don't. You don't have the capacity for that.
Right. Like,
One, you don't know what sex is.
your brain is not developed in any way,
No,
really.
It's
Like,
really not. Like, you're still learning what the actual world around you is. At 3.
Exactly.
No.
It doesn't
No,
make any sense.
that's bullshit. And not only is that bullshit, it's really offensive that he's like, yeah, people believe this. Because I'm like, do you really think we're dumb?
And it's really just like a really gross, yucky story. Like, it makes me want to like go take a shower.
It shows how gross he is.
We're going to find out how gross he is. So it also really like lends itself to this story that he has, because he says this was the first memory that he had where he realized that his actions were being controlled by the program.
Again, no. Nope.
The program.
At 3 years old.
So, we're going to find out that Ed talks a lot about this fucking program.
Oh my.
Which is, according to him, a government program that brainwashed him into doing all the bad things he did throughout his life.
Wow, what a convenient way out of that.
So convenient, am I right?
So convenient.
At one point, he legitimately blames FDR.
Wowzers.
Who, like, my cat is named after, so that's awkward. And you know, I feel bad for Ed, because apparently he just never had a chance.
No, he never did.
It's like, okay, that was full sarcasm for anybody that couldn't read that, just so you know.
He never had any control over his life path. This
is sad if it's true. He also claims that when he was 8 years old, he was molested by a cousin at the direction of his own father.
That's horrific. And, you know, I've heard things that horrific happening, so that I'm not going to be like, absolutely not.
Like, that could have happened.
That definitely could have happened, and if it did, that's horrific, and I feel bad for child him.
Right. Exactly.
Not adult him.
And then, final thing, kind of, when he was 15 years old, he believed that his father hired a hitman to kill him while they were out squirrel hunting together in the woods. And he said his father wanted to kill him because, quote, the program wasn't working. So, like, his dad set him up with this program, and, like, he felt as though it wasn't working, so he wanted to kill him.
This seems like a lot of layers.
It's very layered.
It's a lot.
So, in other news, Ed did go to Texas. He did go to Texas.
He went to Texas.
He went to college in Texas, Texas A&M, and he played the trombone in the Aggie marching band.
Hey, I get it.
He met his first wife in college.
This sounds great.
3 kids together. So I feel like this really could have been like Ed's chance to really turn things around, have a better future for himself. But that's not at all what Ed did. Ed was arrested at least 7 times for things like rape, aggravated rape, indecent exposure, and indecency with a child.
Okay, those are all really horrific things.
Really horrific things.
That's not your, like, getting arrested for, you know, petty theft.
Or like having some weed on you back in the day. Like,
no. That's really bad.
What Ed liked to do was he liked to get naked from the waist down, find young girls who were, like, in groups together and alone, and he liked people to be, like, these girls to be younger than, like, 16.
That's really disgusting.
Yeah, none of these girls were over 18.
That's disgusting.
But somehow he always avoided prison time. Like, he never got prison time for any of these indecent exposures or these rapes.
And he would just walk up to these girls without his pants on?
And just be masturbating.
So many of these, like, weird dudes do that.
It's like the weirdest fucking thing.
One of the most horrifying things I would ever see is just like a dude Winnie the Poohing it. Like, just
it's like, what?
There's nothing good about that.
No.
Like, note to all men, never think that it's like a good thing to walk into a woman just with a shirt on and nothing from the waist down.
And I also just don't understand, like, the great thrill that you get out of that. It's like,
I mean, I'm glad you don't, because I would
it
be
wouldn't
very
make
upset,
a lot of sense.
But it's this. But they do. It's, you know what it is. It's not for us to understand.
It's
but
like a control thing.
It's a power thing, and it's a fear thing. It's a terrorizing thing. They know that by doing that, they have put you in a situation that you can't get out of, because you're just trapped.
You've already seen whatever you've
already
seen
it. You've already been traumatized,
right?
And then they get this power of just using you without your permission to jack it.
It's so gross. It's like a Louis C.K. thing.
Exactly. It's a rape from a distance.
It is
what it is.
It absolutely is. Well, like I said, somehow he always avoided prison time, which is just fucking mind-blowing to me.
Some of these people do, man.
But
it's crazy.
it was the 70s, so it's like, you know?
It's like the Golden State Killer thing.
Right.
And like when we talked about it on like our Patreons know, we got into a discussion about the I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
Right.
And they talk a lot about how in the 70s, rape was just
It was like, what did you do to make that
assault.
happen?
It was just a simple assault.
Exactly. So instead of going to prison, he would have to complete psychiatric treatments instead.
Okay.
So I also think, and I'm going to talk about an investigator later on who totally believes this as well. I think that maybe that's when all this program bullshit started, because he realized that he could avoid jail time by being like, I am cuckoo nuts.
Yep.
Like, I think that's when he was like, the program is making me do this because FDR has taken over my brain.
The program.
Yikes. I think that if he had gone to prison, though, a lot of the girls that we're going to talk about in part 1 and part 2 would absolutely 100% be alive today.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, Ed Bell wrote multiple confession letters. One particular letter talks about, quote, the 11 that went to heaven.
That is so spooky.
So spooky. And it's like, I could not find this fucking letter anywhere. If anybody can find it, let me know.
Oh, damn.
There's an A&E documentary. It's like a docu-series. I think it's 6 or 7 parts. I watched the whole thing twice because I was like, holy fuck. And they quote from this letter a lot, but then I tried to find it and I was like,
in its entirety.
Yeah. I was like, where is it?
I'll have to look for it.
But he writes a poem about these girls, and that's where the title comes from. It's the 11 that went to heaven.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So fucking creepy.
Ugh.
In these letters, he specifically talks about some of, like actually specifically names some of these girls, or he'll be like, the 2 from Dickinson, or like the 2 from here, like this one had this color hair and like this color jackets, and it all lines up. So it's like, I feel like it's just too convenient that you would like remember all of that from a newspaper, because the way he writes about it is like he was there.
Yeah, it seems like the way he remembers it is how you really do remember situations. Where
Exactly.
It's like, this one's, Nancy. Mm-hmm. I remember Nancy, but this one had brown hair and I can't remember anything else. This one I remember her jacket. You know what I mean? Like it's how you naturally remember things.
Right, because a lot of times, even if you do have a photographic memory, he would have remembered all the names, I feel like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he specifically talks about killing 15-year-olds Debbie Ackerman and Maria Johnson, as well as 7 other girls.
15 years old.
15, and that's not even the youngest that we're going to talk about. Maria and Debbie were last seen in front of a Baskin-Robbins ice cream shop on November 15th. Their friend Cindy Thompson worked at this Baskin-Robbins.
Okay.
So it was a holiday from school. It was like a teacher's meeting or something like that. So everybody was off from school. Everybody was kind of just like doing different things. And this was like a little surf town. So like people were going to the beach. You're going here, there, everywhere. It's like a fun ass day.
Absolutely.
So Cindy remembered that everyone was off from school. Everybody was kind of like congregating in the Baskin-Robbins. And she was friends with Maria and Debbie. And she was like, oh, like, what are you guys doing today? And they were like, our plan for the day is to hitchhike to Houston. Which that really wasn't like abnormal. It was the 70s. That's just kind of what you did.
Like now you'd be like, what?
And by the way, sorry, I don't know if I said it. This was 71.
Oh, 71. Okay.
Yeah. So like prime time hitchhiking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she was like, okay, cool. Like, have fun. Like, see you later.
Like prime time hitchhiking and prime time worst time to hitchhike.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like that's why so many crimes are unsolved from the 70s, because it's like anybody could have been fucking passing through and you just got in their car.
Oh, that definitely had a lot to do with it being such a dangerous decade, was just availability of victims.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Cindy remembered that Maria was wearing a white top and red pants, and the last time she saw Maria and Debbie, they were getting into a white van.
Oh no, never.
Never get into a white van.
The white vans, man.
She said that the driver was 100% a man. She didn't see his face, but she saw his arm, and she was like, it's definitely a dude. And she was like, Maria and Debbie seemed to recognize this guy because they were talking to him for like a little bit before they got in, and then they got in and they were off. And that's the last time she ever saw her friends.
Ugh.
Because 2 days later, Maria's body was found in the Turner Bayou.
Ugh.
Her hands were bound. She was naked from the waist down. And then the day after that, Debbie's body was also found in the Turner Bayou. The same, or bayou.
The bayou.
The bayou. The bayou, the same way. Now, Bell has like a bunch of different stories about seeing Debbie and Maria that day that
of course he does.
He goes with. The first story that he told was that he led them to the water after raping them. He stood on the bridge and he had them like walk into the water, like kind of wading in, and shot them both with a 357 Magnum while they just stood there in the water,
horrifying.
like facing away from him.
Oh my God.
And they were shot. Like that's exactly how they died. So he knew that, and he knew that where they were found. He describes standing on the bridge, and it's like it all adds up.
Yeah.
So that's the first story that he told. He later said that wasn't true, and he had actually never heard of those girls.
Dude.
It's like, so we go from you're standing on the bridge shooting them, and then you never knew them?
After raping them.
After raping them.
And now you just didn't know them at all.
You never knew them. Then his most recent story is that, and this is right before he died that he told this story, was that, he did in fact pick them up from the Baskin-Robbins ice cream store, and they told him that they were sick of high school boys and they wanted a real man.
Nope.
And I'm sorry, if you see what he looks like back in the day, it was like they definitely wouldn't have gone to him if that's what they wanted.
Absolutely
And I
not.
doubt that just never happened.
No.
I don't even doubt it. It just didn't happen.
Well, and it's a classic. They wanted it.
They wanted me.
That's what it is. They wanted
It was so
it.
desirable.
Look at me.
And he said after he finished having sex with them, he dropped them off at a theater.
Oh, such a gentleman.
It's like, it's so weird that you dropped them off because, like, they were found dead that day later.
Yeah.
So
no one saw him at a theater.
Doesn't make any sense.
And did he drive a white van?
He did drive a white
course
van at
he
the
did.
time. And the van was later burned, FYI.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, literally nothing else. Like, I
No.
could find nothing else about that, just that it was later burned.
Just burned.
And repainted. Repainted first, then burned. And it's not out of this world to think that Debbie and Maria would have known who Ed Bell was, because Debbie and Maria were both super into surfing and water skiing. They were both, like, really good at water skiing. And they would have known him from the surf and dive shop that he co-owned
Oh.
with this guy named Doug Prunes.
Yeah. That
So,
makes a lot of sense.
Hi there. Now, this was like the place to be in Galveston because everybody was into water sports, water skiing, like surfing, and they sold all that stuff there. And it's like, I just picture like this little beach town, like
Yeah.
summer vacation where like you're all hanging out at like the surf and dive shop. Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the movie Jaws.
I mean, I'm thinking of it too because it's like, yeah.
So that's where they were, and he fucking co-owned it. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
he definitely, they ran across each other's paths.
on
for
multiple
sure.
occasions. And Doug Byrne said that he actually, this is so weird. I'm like, how did you co-own something with this guy? He said he didn't know him very well. It's like, all right.
I don't know. I
He
feel like
said-
that's a little bit of distancing.
He was like, I just know that he came around the store a lot, and he told me that he needed somewhere to sell his dive equipment, and I was like, yeah, sell it here. And it was like, but how did he become a co-owner?
I was
Like,
gonna say that's a jump.
you should have a lot of discussion about that.
He was probably just like a chill surfer dude, and he's like, yeah, sure.
Honestly, it makes sense.
You want to co-own it?
He's like, do you listen to the Beach Boys? All right.
Cool.
This other guy that worked there named Jimmy Summerfield said that Ed was always coming and going, and he knew that Ed was a con man of sorts, and he was always up to something. He was like, I knew that guy was up to something.
He was wily, that one.
Yeah, he was a wily coyote. So Debbie and Maria were not the only pair of friends to go missing from Galveston and turn up in a gruesome manner.
Okay.
Next pair, we're going to talk about 13-year-old Sharon Shaw
Oh,
and 14-year-old Rhonda Renee Johnson.
man.
So they went missing on August 4th in 1971.
Okay.
So Rhonda went by Renee. Renee was like super into music and surfing. A lot of these girls were into surfing because they lived in Galveston. So
Which
it was
is
like,
probably how he was picking them out, too.
yeah, exactly, because they probably hung out at the surf shop.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved to hang out with her best friend Sharon. Sharon was the younger one of the two, but everyone says that she was the leader, and she had this like confidence about her, like she knew what she was doing.
Good for her.
And she had big dreams of becoming a pro surfer, and she talked about this all the time. She was like, I'm going to run away to California when I'm old enough, and I'm going to be like a pro surfer.
Oh.
So she and Renee wanted to go to the beach one day, probably to go surfing.
Likely.
So their friend Glenda Willis drove them out to the beach in Galveston, and then she was like, I gotta get to work. Like, are you guys, like, I think she hung out there for a little bit, and then she was like, I gotta go. Like, are you guys coming? And they were like, nope, like, we're good. We're gonna hang out longer.
Okay.
So it was just the two of them there together, and Glenda ended up being the last friend to see them alive.
Ugh. Imagine, I always think of that. The poor people that end up being like, all right, see you later. And
One,
then
it's like
that's it.
you run into so many people like that in this
Yeah.
story, obviously, and it's like the last people feel so much guilt because
Yeah.
they're like, I just should have never left
They
them
think
alone
of
that
they
day.
think of every little possibility. Like maybe
All
if
the
I
what
had
ifs.
stayed, or maybe if I had made them come with me. And
Right.
it's like, of course, it's natural. It's human.
It's just what you
nature
do.
to do that.
It's like survivor's guilt.
It just makes me so sad that those people have to live with that extra layer.
Yeah, it
of
is sad.
sadness.
So they went missing August 4th. They weren't found until February 1972.
Ooh.
And it was August 4th, 1971.
Ooh.
So it took a very long time for their bodies to be discovered.
Yeah.
Sharon's remains were found first by a man fishing at Taylor Lake. All in all, they found 29 of her bones, and with her bones, they found pieces of tied up black twine.
Ooh.
Then Renee's skull was found in like Upper Taylor Lake, so same, they're kind of the same deal. Like one, they just like drifted apart because
Yeah.
of the currents, probably.
Yeah.
And they had to use dental records to identify Renee.
Wow.
Yeah. So in his letter, Ed Bell had said that he tied Debbie and Maria up. So this kind of explains the ties
black
that are found
twine.
with Sharon's body. Exactly. It was also noteworthy now that there's two sets of friends to go missing. They have similar interests like water surfing,
Yep.
water surfing,
You know, water surfing.
water skiing and surfing, and they're similar ages.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's weird that like two girls go missing at a
Yeah.
time. Like that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
The main thing that people hold on to is that for this case, is that Ed Bell referenced a blonde and a brunette in his confession letter, and many people think that the blonde and brunette killed together that summer were Sharon and Renee.
Oh, okay.
So, a few years later, we're going to flash forward to September of 74. There was another pair of girls to go missing together.
Yeah, somebody take note.
Yeah, I'm like, how? Well,
Hello.
the other thing is these are like, not all of these are in Galveston, and there's so many police communities
jurisdiction
and
issues.
jurisdictions, and they don't want to work with
They
each other.
never want to share
And
information.
Especially in the 70s. They were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it was like a competition.
Oh, yeah. They all had huge mustaches, lots of mutton chops, and they were like, nope, not sharing.
Like holding everything close to my chest.
Yeah.
Also, probably going to do the most minimal amount of searching for these kids.
I'm going to do the absolute least amount of work.
Like, I am corrupt as fuck. So, September 74, another pair of girls goes missing from Dickinson this time. Now, Dickinson is not that far away from Galveston. It's like a 25-minute drive.
Okay.
And that's also a town that was mentioned by Ed Bell in his confession letter.
Yes. I remember you saying
He
that.
references killing 2 Dickinson girls.
Okay.
So these girls were 12-year-old Brooks Bracewell and her best friend Georgia Gear, who was 14 years old.
Come on.
It's like 12 years
12
old.
years old, dude.
Ridiculous.
My God.
So Brooks and Georgia knew each other because they lived in the same neighborhood and they were like inseparable, like they were best friends. So another group of best friends.
Oh, that's awful.
So Brooks was a tomboy and Georgia loved a good adventure. So they were like a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Brooks's stepbrother said that the last time he saw them, they said that they were going to hitch a ride to school because they were like, fuck waiting for the bus. It was at
Yeah.
the bus stop that he last saw them. And then along the way, they ended up deciding that they wanted to have an adventure together. They didn't feel like going to school.
Of course they did.
And it was a Friday. So
Who
they're
feels like going to school?
not me. And it's the 70s again. It's
Yeah.
like carefree.
Nobody
like,
cares.
I'm going to hitch a ride to wherever.
Truancy? Whatever.
I don't give a fuck. So the last place that they were seen together was the El Rancho Motel. The motel, strangely enough, like picturing a motel for like as a place for kids to hang out
Yeah.
seems bizarre, but this particular motel was where the kids hung out.
All right.
There was a room with like a pool table, a bar, and like some other
Oh,
random
that makes
games.
sense. Like a game room.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
pictured kind of almost like an arcade, but
Yeah. Like
maybe they had
it's got the
Pac-Man.
billiards table. It's got, yeah.
all
makes
that
sense.
jazz. So people would come there after school, especially on the weekend. So it wasn't unusual that they cut school, went there, hung out. Like they might have gone to like the corner store or something before that, but they
Yeah.
definitely were last seen at this motel because Brooks's older sister Sherry went there with her friends after school on Friday.
Okay.
And she saw Brooks and Georgia and she's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?" Because they're younger.
Yeah.
Everything was wrapping up. People were heading home. And Brooks and Georgia were like, "Hey, Sherry, can we grab a ride with you and your friends?" Now, Sherry obviously regrets this to this day. She had come with like 2 or 3 of her guy friends, and she was like, the older sister, this is her little sister. She's like, nope, you guys found your way here, find your way home.
Oh,
And
that's a tough one.
there like wasn't technically room for them in the car anyways. So,
Yeah.
But it's like,
But of course she probably hung on to that.
right. And then one of her guy friends who was in the car at the time says he remembers turning around and looking at them, and either, I don't know if it was Georgia or if it was Brooks, but he saw one of them like put their thumb in the road like they were going to hitch a ride home.
Oh.
And that's the last, like he was like, it is burned into my memory. That is
you
the last image I
imagine?
have of them.
Can you imagine?
Because whatever car they got into is
That was the one.
that's who it was.
So it's like you just watched it happen. Ugh.
It's awful.
And of course nobody could ever know.
Well, that's
You know,
the thing,
like-
you don't know.
And everybody who goes missing or is murdered, they saw someone last. There's always
a last someone.
That last someone, and it's like you
just
if
don't
you're
wanna be
unlucky
it.
enough to be it, it's like it's not your fault, man.
No, of course not. The shittiest thing about this is not only the fact that Sherry has all this guilt, but also the police treated Brooks and Georgia's case like they were runaways.
Oh, of course they did.
Now remember, this is a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old, and their family was like, no, like these are not runaway girls. Like, I think Brooks had literally 28 cents in her pocket.
Yeah.
And they ditched their bags before school. They didn't have bags or anything.
Yeah,
They weren't runaways.
You would think they would bring a bag with them if they
Right.
were going somewhere.
The family hung up their own missing posters. Can I talk?
You can. I've seen you do it.
Their own missing persons posters because the police didn't even go as far as to do that.
Wow.
So when they were finally found, it was in a ditch near an oil patch in Alvin, Texas.
Oh, wow.
So their remains were found in a ditch. And remains had been found there in that ditch previously, about 2 years after the girls went missing, but not all of them. Like, it was only, like, some remains that were never identified.
Oh, okay.
And then years later, like 2 more years later, Matt Wingo, he was the sheriff in, I think it's Brazoria County. He was the sheriff at the time, and he was like, I want to go back out there and see if there's more.
Yeah.
So there was more. And during that, like, shady investigation, they actually did take dental records, luckily. Like, that's, like, the only thing that they did do. So when Matt went out there and found the rest of the remains, they had to, again, use the dental records to confirm that it was Brooks and Georgia.
Yeah, and that all the remains were together.
And they were all together, exactly.
They were babies, man. All these kids are babies.
Like, literal, like, one of these girls was 12 years
12
old.
years old.
It's the saddest thing ever. And the other thing that, this is like a haunting little piece of information. Brooks's last known outfit was a golden sweater and plaid pants.
Oh.
And fragments of the gold sweater were wrapped up within the remains.
Oh.
Which I was like, that reminded me of like the Lovely Bones for some reason.
Yeah.
So
that movie will fuck you up.
this case will fuck you up. Everything. And also that's like got like such a 70s vibe. So it's it makes you think of it.
Because it's from the 70s. I think it's set in the 70s, yeah.
So at this point, we have 3 sets of missing girls that turn up murdered either in Galveston or like 25 minutes away.
Yeah, it's
so
very
it's like,
clearly
we have a serial killer.
Yeah, working in the same area.
And if you think of it, 4 of the 6 girls had ties to the surfing and diving community, which we knew that Ed had strong ties to. And he confesses and stands by the fact that he did see Debbie Ackerman and Maria Johnson on the last day they were alive.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is perfect. Like, why don't we have anything? It's like the whole thing is so frustrating when you think of it. And the other thing is, so we know that he co-owned that water skiing and like surf shop.
Yep.
He also lived by a ski school. He lived like a few blocks away, and it was a ski school that 4 of the girls who were like into the water sports, they went there all the time.
Yeah, it's like he's got opportunity. He's got everything.
It's right there. So he wasn't a suspect at the time, though, because I don't even think anybody knew of him at this point.
Yeah, people just didn't know who Ed Bell was.
Right, they had no idea. But in 1972, which was a couple years before Georgia and Brooks went missing, but I just wanted to talk about everybody first, there was a man arrested in connection to one of these cases. So that was the case of Rhonda Renee Johnson and Sharon Shaw.
Okay, the second set of...
Yes, the second set of girls, exactly. So there was a lot more pressure on this specific case because Renee's grandpa was Roy Johnson, and he was a city councilman at the time.
Oh.
He also went on to become the mayor.
Oh.
So
Damn.
he had a lot of say-so.
Yeah.
He was getting, like, real pissed off that it didn't seem like anything was coming from the investigation that was being done. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So at the time, this police officer, David Coburn, was doing the investigation, and the sheriff at the time was, the police chief was J.C. Norman.
Okay.
So, and this was a 7-man police force, and David had never worked a murder before.
Oh, that's good.
So it was like, obviously, that's probably why, like,
Yeah.
not much was being done.
Everything seems legit.
So Roy Johnson is like, fuck all of you. You're all
Fuck all
fired.
y'all.
He basically makes it so that almost the entire police force is, like, fired, and he
Oh,
brings
damn.
in these new dudes. So the new dudes that he brings in are Don Morris as police chief now, and his assistant, Tommy Deal.
Okay. These are cool names. I'm not gonna lie.
Tommy Deal?
Like Tommy Deal.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Wait until you find out what happens.
Oh,
So
man.
Tommy was the one who took over this investigation of, like, what happened to these girls primarily. And what do you know? 9 days of investigating this case, he's already got a suspect, made an arrest, and got a confession.
Wow,
It's like
Tommy Deal.
Tommy Deal making deals.
He's the real deal.
Sounds pretty perfect, right?
Sure does.
Not so much.
I bet it is too.
Oh, it's pretty perfect. All right, so Michael Lloyd Self was a peeping Tom with and this is a quote, a stunted mental growth.
Okay.
So gather from that what you will.
Just take from it what you will.
Exactly. He was a gas station attendant, and he typically worked the night shift.
Okay.
Glenn Price was, like, another city councilman at the time, and he was the one that called Don Morris and tipped him off that maybe Michael Self had something to do with Renee and Sharon's murders.
Okay.
He's like, you might want to look into this dude. And what do you have it? Don Morris already knew Michael Self and didn't fucking like him.
Oh.
Because Don Morris was, like, a security guard at, like, an apartment complex at one point, and he always would see Michael Self, like, looking up girls' skirts as they were walking
Ew.
up. Yeah, he was a peeping Tom, like,
Yeah.
100%. Not a good dude.
No.
And he also had once threatened to throw Michael in jail because he thought that Michael was stealing gas from fire trucks when he was working as a volunteer firefighter.
Okay.
So he already had a vengeance against him.
Yeah.
So let's remember that. The morning of June 9th, Don and Tommy went out to the gas station to talk to Michael, ask him a few questions, and he agreed to go in for more questioning later that morning. So he goes down to the police station, and they show him pictures of Renee and Sharon, and he's like, oh yeah, I recognize them, but I don't know them personally. That was enough for Don and Tommy to literally slap the cuffs on right then and there. They were like, oh, like, that's all we needed to know is that you know them. And he's like,
Damn.
what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any
So
sense.
he's literally like, I've seen them before, and they're like, well, you did it.
You did it. Perfect. And they did get him to confess. He actually confessed multiple times. But he later said that he was forced to confess by Don Morris, who took 5 bullets out of his gun, which had like 6 bullets total,
Yeah.
and basically played Russian roulette with him and was like, I'm gonna blow your brains out unless you write down everything I tell you to write down.
Wow.
And he also, I guess, like, held him up against the wall and was like poking at him with his like police stick.
Damn.
So that's how Michael says that's why he confessed, because he was like
Being tortured.
exactly.
Essentially. And which, not for nothing, we've seen that happen. A false confession.
It made me think of the West Memphis 3.
It immediately made me think of that.
I feel like any
It always makes
false
me,
confession
yeah.
will make me think of that. So,
Which, quick little side note, John Mark Byers died.
right? I forgot that we
I forgot
didn't
that we
mention
haven't
that.
mentioned that. So that's crazy. We're not going to go into it or anything, but like, whoa.
But like, whoa.
Whoa, guys.
Okay,
we'll
now
talk
we're
about
back.
it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah.
So there is a problem with the confessions. Because
I'm shocked.
Again, it's weird. It's there's already a problem because there's multiple different ones. Like, that's not usually what happens.
Yeah.
And it seems like, so there's 2 different written confessions, and it seems like the first one was kind of written and he was like, okay, like, this makes sense. And then the second one was written and it fit the like the details more.
It fits the narrative better.
It fits the narrative, exactly. So the first one was written on June 9th, the day that he was arrested. And then the second one was written 3 days later on June 12th. So, like I said, like it's a big issue that the second one was written to fit more of the details. And then a couple of the other issues are that in the first confession, Michael says that he disposed of the girls' bodies in the El Lago Lake, but that's 20 miles away from the Taylor Bayou, which is where they were actually found. So it's like, okay, that's weird.
So already it's like,
It's like, nope, that doesn't make any sense. And then in the second confession, he's like, oh yeah, it was the Taylor Bayou. Like, I just messed that up.
He's like, oh, you know what? Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Makes sense,
Silly
makes
me.
sense. And then in one of his confessions, he says that he picked the girls up from Sharon's house, but that was impossible because, like, nobody saw him do that.
Yeah.
And also, at the time he says he picked them up, they had already been reported missing.
Yeah, this isn't looking good.
No. So that makes literally no sense. And finally, he says that he choked them, but there was no evidence to support that.
Yeah, so that was him just being like,
I guess that's how I did it.
I choked him?
I guess so. So there's no evidence against him. Like, there's no physical evidence at all. It was just, I think everyone was really happy to have an answer. And the community was like, we just need somebody in jail for this.
It's the same exact thing as the West Memphis 3.
Exactly.
You just need to nail someone so you can go, we got him.
A comfort thing.
Yeah.
So Michael Self, so weird. He was actually only convicted of Sharon's murder, even though there was, like, no evidence at all. But they could only get him on that murder.
Wow.
And he spent the rest of his life in jail.
Wow.
The rest of his fucking life in jail. I don't think he did it.
That's shocking.
David Coburn also doesn't believe that Michael did it because he says that he saw Don Morris do this exact, like, Russian roulette thing to make another inmate do whatever he wanted them to do.
So this is like his thing. His tactic.
Is his thing. And then Tommy and Don became even more unreliable because it came out that the entire time that they were working on this case, and also for years after, they had been committing a string of bank robberies around Texas.
Tommy and Don.
But, like, doesn't Don Morris and Tommy Deal, like, you were not born to be police officers.
No, you were born to be outlaws.
Born to be wild.
You were born to be wild.
So they weren't exactly like your hometown heroes that everybody thought they were.
No, definitely not.
They both got released from prison after they, like, served their time. And then Tommy got put back in prison when he pretty much immediately robbed another bank as soon as he got out.
He just can't help himself.
And it's weird.
He's Tommy Deal.
He's Tommy Deal. Well, he says that Don Morris is, like, the one that, like, made him get into it.
Of course.
And he's like, but it's, like, cool, but then Don stopped and you didn't.
So it's, like, really doesn't matter.
It's, like, also, nobody believes you at this point because you was a liar.
You's a liar, Tommy Deal.
A liar. So, but let's get back to Ed Bell.
Let's do it.
So at this point, you're probably like, okay, yeah, like, he's a pretty solid suspect, and he's, like, definitely a shitty individual, but, like, does that make him a murderer?
I think it does.
I think so, but if you don't, I'm gonna need you to hold on to your butt.
All right, holding on to it.
Well, you don't even need to, but, like, somebody else might.
I'm holding on, though.
Okay. So, August 24th, 1978, Ed Bell was doing what he does best, being a big old motherfucking creep. He was driving around in his red pickup truck, looking for a group of girls to expose himself to.
God, Ed.
As one does.
God, Ed.
He ended up in this, like, super nice neighborhood in Pasadena. He parked his car in the middle of the street, stripped from the waist down, got out of his car, and just began masturbating right there in the middle of the fucking neighborhood.
My God, if only someone would walk by dudes who do this with hedge clippers and just go, snip.
Oh, yeah, seriously, that's what they need.
And then just keep on trucking. Just keep going.
On trucking.
Just be like, have a nice day.
Well, somebody did try to save the day here. So, it was former Marine Larry Dickens.
Yes.
His mom lived in that neighborhood, and he was just there to mow the lawn for her that day.
What a good dude.
Oh my God. And he brought his 3-year-old daughter with him.
Oh, so I hope he fucked this guy up.
So the family saw what was going on because Larry's, like, out there mowing the lawn, and Dorothy's like, that's the mom. She's like, what the fuck? Like, there's this naked dude
What is happening?
jerking off in the middle of the street. So she
Gross.
calls the police, and she's like, my son is going out there, like, he's gonna try to detain this guy and, like, make it so young girls don't see this dude fucking jerking off in the street. So he tried to get Ed Bell to cut the shit. Larry goes over and he's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And he reaches into Ed Bell's truck to take his keys to make sure that, like, he can't get away once the cops get there. Well, Ed Bell was fucking pissed. Larry wasn't able to, like, reach him or anything, or he was, like, trying to, like, get away with the keys. So Ed Bell reaches in to his truck and pulls out a pistol and shoots Larry in the chest 4 times.
No.
Now, Larry was 26 years old.
No.
Larry was able to get back to his driveway after being fucking shot that many times, and his mom came, like, running out. He collapses onto her, and Ed Bell walks up to him again, shoots him again while he's laying in his mom's arms, then calmly walks back to his fucking truck. He tosses the pistol back in, grabs a hunting rifle, walks back over, and at this point, like, I think Larry had, like, gotten up again to, like, or try to get away, or, like, the mom went inside to, like, get the daughter. He shot him in between the eyes with a hunting rifle.
I am beyond words.
Like, this all happened because you wanted to get out of your fucking car and jerk off in broad daylight, and this guy was like, no, you can't do that. So you shot him, like, multiple fucking times.
And as he's laying in his mother's arms,
He
like,
shoots him again.
You are the most evil fucker.
Not only that, like, he's literally shoots him while he's in his mother's arms, then goes back and gets a hunting rifle to shoot him again.
Wow.
So obviously Larry Dickens died, unfortunately.
That's
but I feel like he died a
awful.
hero.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That sucks.
Bell was able to hop in his car and fucking get away.
What?
So he wasn't super familiar with the area, though, and he ended up driving down a dead-end road like the fucking moron that he is.
Dumbass.
He was arrested, but he posted his $125,000 bail and skipped bail and escaped to Panama for the next 14 years.
Man, you know what? You telling this story is very 2020 of you.
It is
very 2020.
The next 14
God damn it.
fucking years.
That's bullshit.
And that's not even it. That's where I'm going to leave you, but that's not even the end of the fucking story.
Fuck.
So in part 2, I'm going to get a little more into, like, Ed's potential crimes. I think they're all his fucking crimes.
Ed did it.
He did. His weird ass life. I'm going to tell you all about that. I'm going to tell you about the rest of the 11 because I've only told you about 6. So
yeah.
We have a ways to go.
We got 5 more.
We have 5 more. All these girls that I'm going to talk about in part 2 disappeared by themselves.
Oh, that's different.
And a lot of them met the same fate of being let out to, like, water or something like that and being killed in the middle of nowhere.
What a terrible, terrible way.
And especially, like, alone. Like,
yeah.
Obviously you don't want to die no matter what, but I feel like
being
these
alone
girls
must
were, like,
be a whole
2.
nother.
Yeah, it's like the whole fucking thing is awful.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to get to in part 2.
Wow.
Motherfucker escaped.
I hate that story.
I know, and we're not even done with it yet.
I hate it.
Well, I feel like there's a lot that we can post to the Instagram for this one if you want to go check that out.
Yeah, because that's bonkers.
Insane. You can follow us on Instagram, though, at
Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter.
A Morbid Podcast.
Send us a Gmail. That is where listener tales go. Don't send them anywhere else or else we won't see them.
We will not see them, and that's a bummer because we want to see them.
I want to see them.
morbidpodcast@gmail.com, and make sure you put listener tale and then a fun little title.
Yes. And we hope you keep listening.
We hope you
Keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you get out of your car in the middle of the broad daylight and you start jerking off, because that's just not okay. And honestly, I hope that, like, you end up shot if you do that.
Yeah, and you know what? If you do that, I'm going to come out of nowhere with some hedge clippers and just go chomp.
Yeah, keep it that weird. We will keep it that weird.
I'm going to keep it that weird.
Bye.
Bye.